plan falls under Section 10 of the current NSSF Act.
Everything you need for your future is now on your phone. Your savings, your retirement, all in one app.
Dive into the NSSF Go experience and track your benefits, make voluntary payments, update your member details, and do much more from your phone. Simply open your Google Play or App Store and download the NSSF Go app to stay up to date on your savings with amazing new features. Share your NSSF Go experience with your family and friends today.
NSSF, a better life.
Everything you need for your future is now on.
Applying for MTN shares is simple if you use your MTN number. Remember, you need to have created your Securities Central Depository (SCD) account before you apply. Got one? Great! Now you're ready to apply. First, dial *165*65#. Select 2 to apply for MTN shares, then select 1 to apply for MTN shares for self. Type 1 to confirm your SCD account details and select the number of shares to apply for. Enter your mobile money PIN to authorize the transaction. Then press 1 to confirm you've read the prospectus and accept the terms and conditions. You will receive a confirmation message and your application ID will be sent to you. It's that easy. The entire process using MTN Momo is free of charge. Applying for MTN shares is simple if you use your MTN number. Remember, you need to have created your Securities Central Depository (SCD) account before you apply. Got one? Great! Now you're ready to apply. First, dial *165*65#. Select 2 to apply for MTN shares, then select 1 to apply for MTN shares for self. Type 1 to confirm your SCD account details and select the number of shares to apply for. Enter your mobile money PIN to authorize the transaction. Then press 1 to confirm you've read the prospectus and accept the terms and conditions. You will receive a confirmation message and your application ID will be sent to you. It's that easy. The entire process using MTN Momo is free of charge. Applying for MTN shares is simple if you use your MTN number. Remember, you need to have created your Securities Central Depository (SCD) account before you apply. Got one? Great! Now you're ready to apply. First, dial *165*65#. Select 2 to apply for MTN shares, then select 1 to apply for MTN shares for self. Type 1 to confirm your SCD account details and select the number of shares to apply for. Enter your mobile money PIN to authorize the transaction. Then press 1 to confirm you've read the prospectus and accept the terms and conditions. You will receive a confirmation message and your application ID will be sent to you. It's that easy. The entire process using MTN Momo is free of charge. Applying for MTN shares is simple if you use your MTN number. Remember, you need to have created your Securities Central Depository (SCD) account before you apply. Got one? Great! Now you're ready to apply. First, dial *165*65#. Select 2 to apply for MTN shares, then select 1 to apply for MTN shares for self. Type 1 to confirm your SCD account details and select the number of shares to apply for. Enter your mobile money PIN to authorize the transaction. Then press 1 to confirm you've read the prospectus and accept the terms and conditions. You will receive a confirmation message and your application ID will be sent to you. It's that easy. The entire process using MTN Momo is free of charge. Applying for MTN shares is simple if you use your MTN number. Remember, you need to have created your Securities Central Depository (SCD) account before you apply. Got one? Great! Now you're ready to apply. First, dial *165*65#. Select 2 to apply for MTN shares, then select 1 to apply for MTN shares for self. Type 1 to confirm your SCD account details and select the number of shares to apply for. Enter your mobile money PIN to authorize the transaction. Then press 1 to confirm you've read the prospectus and accept the terms and conditions. You will receive a confirmation message and your application ID will be sent to you. It's that easy. The entire process using MTN Momo is free of charge. Applying for MTN shares is simple if you use your MTN number. Remember, you need to have created your Securities Central Depository (SCD) account before you apply. Got one? Great! Now you're ready to apply. First, dial *165*65#. Select 2 to apply for MTN shares, then select 1 to apply for MTN shares for self. Type 1 to confirm your SCD account details and select the number of shares to apply for. Enter your mobile money PIN to authorize the transaction. Then press 1 to confirm you've read the prospectus and accept the terms and conditions. You will receive a confirmation message and your application ID will be sent to you. It's that easy. The entire process using MTN Momo is free of charge. Applying for MTN shares is simple if you use your MTN number. Remember, you need to have created your Securities Central Depository (SCD) account before you apply. Got one? Great! Now you're ready to apply. First, dial *165*65#. Select 2 to apply for MTN shares, then select 1 to apply for MTN shares for self. Type 1 to confirm your SCD account details and select the number of shares to apply for. Enter your mobile money PIN to authorize the transaction. Then press 1 to confirm you've read the prospectus and accept the terms and conditions. You will receive a confirmation message and your application ID will be sent to you. It's that easy. The entire process using MTN Momo is free of charge. Applying for MTN shares is simple if you use your MTN number. Remember, you need to have created your Securities Central Depository (SCD) account before you apply. Got one? Great! Now you're ready to apply. First, dial *165*65#. Select 2 to apply for MTN.
Good morning everyone. I hope it's a beautiful morning for everyone wherever you are. You're welcome to this session brought to you by the NSSF Financial Literacy Program, where we get to boldly talk about money and how to make money. My name is Agnes Mahorombasa. I work with NSSF, National Social Security Fund, where I lead the quality assurance team. And today we are having an interesting session with the team from MTN, where we get to talk about the new hot investment option in town, around town, the MTN IPO. With us today, we have an interesting panel that is going to be giving us details and answer all our questions about the MTN IPO. We are live on all our NSSF social media pages, that's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You can share the link with your friends, your colleagues, so that they join in and we learn together. Before we get into today's discussion, let me share a little about NSSF. Our mandate really is we are mandated by law to collect money from the private sector as a retirement package for our members. So we collect, invest, and ensure to return, to bring returns that do not deplete the value of our members' savings. That is basically our mandate. And our purpose is to make our customers' lives better by making saving a way of life. So our purpose has evolved over time because of the things that we are privy to and the information that we are privy to. So we started the Financial Literacy Initiative 3 years ago, and this is because of the statistics that we found out along the way. For example, we found out that 80% of our members, after receiving their retirement benefit, within 2 years, they didn't have anything to show for it. That was a very glaring statistic that was looking at us. The other thing was that this was a research done by UBRA, our regulator, which says that, which found out that 56 of Ugandans seek financial advice from their family members who are not, who are not financial advisors. Yeah, I want to do something. I go to my husband. I'm like, oh, so what do we do? And the hubby is like, we do this. They are not qualified financial advisor, and along the way we make terrible, terrible financial decisions. The other thing is that 12% of our 17 million labor force in Uganda is the only one that is known to have a regulated retirement scheme. That is also not a very good statistic for Uganda. The other thing is that only 5% of Ugandans attain financial freedom after retirement. And then, of course, the other thing we found out from our numbers as NSSF is that only 76% of our membership has a running balance that is below 10 million shillings, which means that even this retirement package is not enough for them once they retire. So then we need to give them options as they go along their journey so that by the time they retire, they are able to take care of themselves and have a comfortable retirement. And that led us to the need to start the national dialogue on financial literacy. So we run financial literacy cohorts, classes, serious classes where we put people in a class for 6 months. Just last month, as we celebrated our Customer Connect Week, we were able to graduate over 682 people that attended our classes with amazing testimonies. And if you go to our social media pages, you'll find them there. So you might ask yourself, why the partnership today with MTN? It's because our members are asking us questions. They're asking for our opinion, and we are not in position to give an opinion on the MTN IPO. But the best thing that we can do is to bring the experts to give this information to our members so that they can make informed decisions. So the expectations of our members today is to really learn and get their questions answered today so that they can make a better informed decision. And I believe that today we have a panel that will do that for us. And so today, allow me to introduce our panel today that is going to take us through this session. With us here, we have the CEO of MTN. I hope I'm able to pronounce his name, Wim Vanhelleputte. He will tell me if I pronounced it right. So Wim is a seasoned executive with over 20 years experience in the telecommunications sector across 8 countries in Africa. He is the Chief Executive Officer at MTN, a position he has held since 2016. Wim was the CEO of MTN Ivory Coast between 2009 and 2015, prior to which he was at Bati Airtel. He's also served as CEO of Chad Mobile, a subsidiary of Orascom Telecom Holding. He holds a master's in nuclear and solid-state physics and a bachelor's in general engineering from the State University of Ghent, Belgium, and a special degree in power plant management from the Free University of Brussels. Wim, we are glad to have you here.
Thank you, and good morning to everybody.
Thank you. We also have Mr. Andrew Bugembe. Andrew is a telecom finance executive with 23 years experience in the telecommunications sector. He's currently the Chief Finance Officer of MTN Uganda and has served in various executive and senior management finance roles in the 5 MTN Group countries. That's Uganda, Congo-Brazzaville, Liberia, Ghana, and Rwanda. He's been CFO in MTN Liberia and MTN Congo-Brazzaville. His key roles are to drive the company profitability mandate with focus on service revenue growth and margin expansion. So I believe he understands finance a lot, and he'll give us a lot of information today. Suffice to say to Wim and Andrew that MTN was my first employer. So doing this feels like I'm coming back home. And with us, we also have 2 gentlemen, William from Stanbic, who is the lead broker for the MTN IPO. We also have a gentleman from Sanlam, who is going to be our moderator today, to moderate the session today. And so I encourage us to please send in those questions, keep the comment section active, and we'll have all your questions answered. So over to you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I hope that we are safe. I am glad to be here talking to potential investors into the IPO. And I think I'm the only one who got the dress code wrong, but I guess I'm over-prepared in my nature. So thank you very much for that kind introduction. I was asked by NSSF Financial Literacy team to try and come before you today to try and guide potential investors through shares in general. Now, my experience is a little bit more advanced. I've been working in Uganda for more than 10 years as an institutional fund manager. And I also get a lot of questions from individual investors as well as institutional investors. And I thought today is an opportunity to address the general public and give them a lens from our perspective as investors. as you kindly mentioned, there are no shortcuts to being an investor. You have to do the work, and we hope that within an hour or so, we will have digested the opportunity that MTN is presenting. So my style is going to be a couple of questions, and I hope you'll be well equipped to answer them in a manner that also carries along potential investors that are not so sophisticated, but also those that are sophisticated. In my experience, we tend to have the same questions. We just don't know how to communicate them very well. So that is why I want to have that approach. So I would like, I think, first, the team from MTN, I think you have a short presentation to make as by way of introduction, and then we'll have questions going forward based on that. So over to you, Wim and Andrew.
Okay, thank you and good morning once again. We'll try to keep it very brief in terms of the presentation so that we have enough time, as you said, to engage on questions and answers, which, as you rightfully say, the very sophisticated investor and the more, down-to-earth investor, they always ask the same questions, but in a different English. But the concerns are always the same, so it will be a pleasure to go into that and take the questions and answer session. So Uganda is home for MTN. We've been around for 23 years. I think we don't need to introduce ourselves too much. I hope most of you or all of you are familiar with our company. We started in 1998. We've been the first on many occasions in terms of launching new products and services, 3G, 4G. We even did a test on 5G just earlier last year, and also now today we believe that we are the first of taking our company public, or at least the first telecom company going public and doing it in a very special way, making it accessible for thousands of our customers. Why are we doing this? It's always important, I think, that investors understand why all of a sudden today, after 23 years, MTN decides to go public and list its shares on the USE. There are two reasons. Number one reason, there's no secret about it, it's a license obligation. So it is mandatory for MTN Uganda as part of obtaining its license extension last year. One of the conditions to obtain that license was to list the company at least 20% minimum on the stock exchange. There were other obligations. First was the obligation to pay $100 million license fee for the next 12 years. Second obligation is to bring nationwide coverage, which is still work in progress. We still have 3 years to fulfill that obligation. And then the third obligation was to list the company by June 2022. So we are 6 months away from meeting the deadline of fulfilling that obligation. We can go to the next slide. Today we have 2 shareholders. For being the biggest company, the biggest tax contributor, one of the biggest direct, indirect employers in the country, 2 shareholders is not good enough. It's not enough. We looked at this obligation and we understood that it was at the same time an opportunity to widen our shareholder base and to move from 2 shareholders to thousands of shareholders. Because the more shareholders we have, especially if they are local Ugandan shareholders, we believe the more we have, the stronger our company will be and the better we can perform if we have more wider shareholder base. So how is this IPO, initial public offer, structured? There are 4 key features that is really important for the general public and investors to understand. We've made it affordable, meaning you can participate and buy shares for as little as 100,000 shilling. Sometimes people ask me, I'd rather buy a piece of land than shares. I'm sure you will come back to that later on, and the comparison of the different investments class. I say, yeah, that's a fair option, but can you buy a piece of land for 100,000 shilling? I don't think so. So we've made it affordable for people to participate. For as little as 100,000, you can call yourself a shareholder of MTN Uganda, meaning you own a part of the company. So we've made it affordable in terms of the entry ticket. We've also made it very accessible, meaning easy to participate, because for our customers in particular, we have enabled a MIPO platform that allows you by USSD or via the app to open your SCD account, which is your virtual account where your stocks will be held. William from SBG, the broker, will explain that probably a bit more into detail. But there's no requirement for pen and paper. You just use your phone, you open your account, and then you can also apply and pay for your shares using the MTN Mobile Money platform. So no pen and paper, no queuing in front of the bank or in front of the service centers. It is from the convenience of your home. You can open your account, apply for shares, and pay for shares. So it's easy for people to participate in terms of accessibility. We've also made it very attractive because we're giving two types of incentives. For all East African individuals, there's a 5% bonus shares. And then if you use the MIPO platform, you are entitled to a second set of 5%, meaning 5 plus 5, 10%. So if you're Ugandan, you use your phone and you apply for your shares, you get 10% bonus shares. If you're an East African, Ugandan in general, without using your phone, but using the more traditional channels, which are still available through the Easy portal on the USC, for example, you will still get 5% bonus shares. And then last but not least, very important in terms of the spirit of localizing the ownership of the company, not just the listing, but really the emphasis on localizing, is that in terms of the allocation policy, the allotment policy, Ugandans are first. So if there is more demand than the 20% of the shares that are on offer, every Ugandan will be assigned and allotted their shares first before we get to East African investors, and only if there are still shares available after the Ugandans have been served, after all East Africans have been served, only after all those have been served, then any remaining shares can be allotted to international investors from the rest of the world. So all of these, the affordability, the accessibility, the attractiveness, and the advantage we're giving for Ugandans and then secondly East Africans, all of that is geared towards fulfilling our aspiration to widen our shareholder base as much as possible. We want to move from 2 shareholders to 20, 30, 50,000 shareholders if possible, so that we, become better and stronger company embedded in the soil of Uganda like a tree with much more roots than just the 2 roots that we had before. I've spoken about the journey of MTN. We can skip. What is important is that we've been the first on many occasions, and once again also for this MIPO, it is the first in East Africa and even in the whole world, we believe, where you can open an account, apply for shares, pay for your shares using your phone, and then later on you will also be able to sell your shares using your phone, and even the dividends, they will be sent directly onto your phone, all of that free of charge. So it's a real innovation to democratize the access to capital markets. MTN Uganda is now holding 2 operating licenses. We have a telecom license issued by the UCC last year, and that's where the obligation for listing comes from. And then we have structurally separated, meaning we have created a separate standalone company called the MTN Mobile Money Company, which is 100% owned by MTN. But it's its own legal entity, which is with its own set of separate accounts, and it also has its own operating licenses issued by BOU and allowing that company to run the mobile money business. Now, all the economic advantages and benefits from the mobile money activity flow back to MTN Uganda and its shareholders. So buying a share in MTN Uganda, you will get the full benefit of the entire mobile money activity. The reason why we did that is once again for compliance, because the NPS Act from last year required us to separate the two companies while, still MTN Uganda being the owner of the mobile money company. Andrew, I think as the CFO, you are more familiar with the figures than me, so please take us through some of the figures.
Okay, thank you, Wim. So if we look over the years as MTN Uganda, our subscriber base has grown double digit, over 12% the last 3 years. And so we're over 15 million customers, a third of which are data subscribers, and that's very key, and mobile money over 9 million. What's important about the mobile money and data is where the future growth of the company is. If we move to the next slide and look at our revenue growth over the years, our revenue growth has grown again above 10%. The main growth drivers for double digit is again mainly data and fintech, or what we call mobile money. Again, this comes down, your revenue is growing well. You can see that, our profit growth is way above our revenue growth. And that's key and very important, where we ensure that our cost growth is way lower than our revenue, to ensure that as a business we're profitable. And we've been profitable for many years, because remember, the dividend that we share is based on the profit after tax that you see there. And if you're to look at the dividend per share over the last 3 years using the current issued shares, you can see as of 2021, this year, it will be 10.2, and that's based on 2 interim dividends we've paid so far, which is 230 billion, with 1 final dividend payment to be made next year around March. So if we move, what's key and very important for us as a business is the economy. So how do we thrive as a business? If you see GDP growth, is growing in Uganda, was obviously flat last year because of COVID. This year expected to grow above, 4.3%, thereabout. And then you look at our population demographics, that's key. Because remember, our key subscribers are coming from the next adult population. And, with data, we don't even probably have to wait for adult population. That's, those who turn 18 every year, you have over 1 million. Today you have kids who are already customers. So it's also important to grab, those kind of customers before they become adults. So if you look at it, where we're over 44 million in Uganda, you do expect that, by around, according to World Bank, 25, 30 will be almost 60 million. So that means there's great potential for the population to grow. And for us as a telco, that's potential customers that are coming. So when we move to the next slide, so what are they going to come and consume? And this is key. So for sure, we've mentioned that, data and fintech or mobile money is key. But we need to go back to basics. Before we go there, voice is still going to be, it's still going to make its mark because of affordability of devices, and because in new areas you go to, you also need to address the content issue. So what happens is, we are trying to address phone affordability, and we're trying to push most of our customers to 4G. So we are partnering with M-Kopa, where you can pay for your devices over 6 months. At the same time, we have our own Kabode. You pay about, I think, 69,000, and you pay the rest in installments per week or per month. All we're trying to do is get devices in the hands of our customers. Yes, we have a great network across a country, but if over 50% of your phones are not yet smart, don't have internet, then they will not enjoy the experience we want them to. At the same time, we need to make it affordable. So it's important at MTN that, you must have seen the recent advert of freedom bundles. Eat all you can. So our customers are saying they're tired of bundles that expire. So what we're trying to do is listen to our customers. Yes, you have a device, but it must be affordable. The other area to mention, I think, is a high-speed solution which can apply to many of you today in your homes. It's quite expensive to just use mobile broadband, or if you're 2-3 people in a home, each one with their own bundle. So, there's a new opportunity of fiber to homes, unlimited, great experience, great speeds. Your lives will change and you will not go back. And today we have more demand than we can deliver for fiber to homes. And, working from home, entertainment is not going to change. Then the other is dictization. At the end of the day, yes, you do have, you need to get the right content. So we all know, the likes of TV, radio, basically entertainment are all going to move to devices. So data and dicto is going to be key. And the kind of content we're talking about has to go all the way to the everyday person in the villages. If it's an old lady in a farm, in her free time, she can listen to some radio, watch some Chi Nigeria, or you want to call it China Uganda. We need to get content that is relevant to our people. When we look at now mobile money, this is an interesting, everyone understands mobile money. I think we're passionate about it because it was born in Africa, just next door in Nairobi. What we've been concentrating on is what you call the basics: cash in, cash out. They send you money, you send to someone, or you cash out. The future of that is going to come from what we call advanced services or fintech. That's payments. What we are trying to scale up now is wherever you go, you are able to make payments. If you're somewhere in Yokafunda, you should be able to see Momo Pay and pay for your services. If you're out in a market, a pharmacy, basically anywhere you're going, we want to use our own payment system to make this happen. The other is more cash loans. This is, if you're stuck somewhere, you need to pay for water. They've come to cut off your water and you don't have money. You can borrow some money and pay, for your water. Or you need to send someone money and you don't have. Whatever you might need. So what we're trying to do is give people this opportunity where they can borrow, and as a company, you make small interest, and when the customer, gets money, they are able to pay up. The other that is key and quite powerful is remittances. You'll be surprised on how much money comes in the country from, the rest of the world. So we're trying to make it easy, where you don't have to go somewhere, line up to receive money, just come straight to your phone. And here we are partnering across the world, from Europe, US to the Asia, China, and this is going to grow and going to be massive. To be honest, the only time I remember going to a bank is probably to pick my PIN. The day they're able to deliver it, I don't know why I need to go to a bank anymore. So the world has moved and we need to move ahead. So quickly, whatever we're talking about, especially data, you need to invest. So as a company, we've committed to invest at least 1 trillion for the next 3 years, and the focus of this investment is going to be on data. So we're talking of the likes of 4G, a bit of 3G, and fiber, and obviously enhancing and upgrading capacity where there is demand. This is key to improve our customer experience and also key to ensure the network quality and the digital services we're going to offer in the future. Imagine you'll be watching World Cup from your phone and there's a penalty and then suddenly your phone starts buffering. You might throw it away. You'll be pissed. So we need to change that experience wherever you are. We keep a smile on your face. Then, towards the end, if you're investing in a company, it's important that it's run by a credible management. So we have about 15, including Stephen, who's the acting CEO for the mobile money company. We are diverse, quite a number of ladies, still work in progress, we must say. And, only 3 expatriates, Ugandans with varied experiences from other countries. And, as MTN, being part of a group, we have the opportunity to work in other operations across Africa and Middle East. I'm a product of the same, spent the last 10 years in West and Central Africa, working in, Ghana with MTN, Liberia, and recently Congo Brazzaville before I returned last year. And we have other, over 10 out in other operations to ensure we have a good pipeline to lead this company in the future. So this is very important. So as we mentioned, key for the brand. So, the importance of being part of a big brand is we're able to deliver services from anywhere and just localize. We're able to enjoy synergies from a sourcing perspective because we're big. We don't go and, we don't buy technology as MTN Uganda alone. We buy as 20 operations. So we're able to gain synergies and we are building a great brand. So in Africa, when you mention MTN, we're no different from Shell, Total, Coca-Cola, or Nike. That's the power of the brand that you would be investing into. And with that, I'd say thank you. Over.
Thank you very much for that introduction. I think members will appreciate the background for this conversation is to talk about the business. Now, I will be guiding the conversation around the business lines that you've mentioned. I think for most of the people online, they appreciate the brand itself. It's I think, a number one brand. I'm not trying to sell it, but stating the fact. And we'll be going through the individual revenue lines one by one to understand them as a business. Now, you mentioned, I think we mentioned that you are onboarding new shareholders. And in Uganda, if you ask anyone to co-invest on any venture, the individuals in the room matter more than the actual opportunity, isn't it? So if I want to buy land, I'll probably buy it with a family relative more than a stranger I found off the street. So the very first question I want to ask is around the partner, the group that you're asking Ugandans to partner with in this journey. That is the MTN group. I have the benefit of understanding or listening to them when they are reporting results. In fact, I saw the half-year announcements. The group has about 300 million customers, of which you have about 15, 16 million, isn't it? The group, out of the 300, I think 50 are in mobile money, of which in Uganda you have about 9. And then in terms of data, I think they're about 120. And in Uganda, you have about 5. So the group is, what you're mentioning in terms of growth of the business, it is not in isolation, but the group itself or our partner that you're inviting us to talk to is in the same direction. So I thought I would give you an opportunity to talk about our large partner, because they are probably going to be driving most of the discussions in the boardroom. There is a strategy that has been put forward, the strategy for 2025, and probably you can relate that to from a Ugandan context as a Ugandan shareholder, because definitely that is what is going to drive where we're going to invest more money going forward. And we hope that where we invest more money as a business or as shareholders, that will drive growth and value for the local shareholders as well.
Okay, thanks for that. It's a very valid point, is to understand what the majority shareholder, because MTN International will remain the majority shareholder. We have 96% of the ownership of the company. The group international is selling down 20%, so they still remain with 76%. Okay. To give some context, Uganda, in terms of the contribution at the group level, we are number 4. So there is Nigeria, first contributor, South Africa, Ghana, number 3, and Uganda is number 4. Okay. So in terms of importance of MTN Uganda as part of the MTN international Pan-African footprint, we are number 4 out of a list of 20. That means that as an OpCo, we are getting a lot of support and attention from our reference majority shareholder, and that is definitely going to continue, because there are no indirect or direct conflicting interests. Okay, if the company MTN Uganda is doing well, it is all the shareholders of that company that are benefiting from it. So it's not like one shareholder will get the benefit and the other shareholders will not. All the shares are equal. Okay, all the shares are simple, ordinary shares with the same voting rights, and there's no differentiation between MTN Uganda or Mr. Mbiri and the rest of the public shares. All the shares are equal. So from a conceptual point of view, the 76% shareholder will continue its commitment to grow this company. And of course, we are aligned as an OPCO to the wider Ambition 2025 strategy from our majority shareholder. That doesn't mean that in Uganda, as MTN Uganda, we don't have the freedom to modify, adjust, adapt the overall strategy to the specific needs and specific, relevant strategy that we believe is going to grow the company. We are part of a bigger framework, yes, but we are not locked up in that framework. As management, Andrew can testify, we have freedom, we have the liberty within boundaries, of course, to implement certain country-related strategies that are very relevant for us in Uganda, and that might be less relevant, for other countries. Now, what is that Ambition 2025 overall MTN International strategy about? It is really to drive value for shareholders. Value through, for example, mobile money. The platform business, we call it a platform business. You have to look at mobile money beyond what it is today. Andrew gave you a very good picture. Mobile money today is 70-80% is just transferring money from one person to another person. That is, the basics. But that is not where the future of mobile money sits. The future of mobile money is to develop mobile money into a platform, okay, that becomes almost impossible not to use. Everybody will want to connect to that platform through open API systems that allow anybody to use mobile money to monetize whatever invention, whatever product or service that they deliver. So you have to look at mobile money as a platform, okay? That platform like WhatsApp, okay? Today everybody wants to be on WhatsApp. Why? There are hundreds or thousands other platforms that do similar kind of things, but the dominant platform is the winning platform. So MTN mobile money platform, we aspire to be that winning platform where everybody wants to be on, so that you don't have to go from one to another. So it's very important is that platform business. And in Uganda with mobile money, we are actually the number one in terms of all the 20 countries, so we are actually the leading OPCO to drive that platform, mobile money platform business. There's a lot of innovation that we are doing here in Uganda that then later on, gets exported, if you want, including our people to other countries. They also benefit from the same way that we, of course, also benefit from innovations in other areas in other countries. So mobile money platform is very high on the agenda of the MTN group. Secondly is Ayoba. Ayoba is a platform that we want to position as the WhatsApp for Africa by Africa. Okay, it has the potential to really evolve into that kind of again dominant platform. Now, not this time to do the payments and to do the financials, which is the mobile money side, but the dominant platform in terms of relevance for content, especially local content. So Ayoba, we started about a year and a half ago, but we are driving that passionately. It is owned by MTN, and we are already 600,000 customers in Uganda that have downloaded the app and that are using the app, and it has the potential to really develop into the kind of WhatsApp. We actually want to go beyond WhatsApp, and the real reference point is WeChat. Don't know if the audience would be familiar with that, but in China you have a platform called WeChat, which basically runs your life from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. Okay, it is amazing how such a platform has been able to enable the digital lifestyle of millions of people. So that is really the ambition. That's the second big thing from a group level, is to drive the Ayoba platform, which of course as MTN Uganda we will also directly benefit from. Then other crucial initiatives is to push very hard on fiber. Andrew touched on it again. Mobile internet is good, but there are limitations. The spectrum is a certain limitation of the kind of quality that you can deliver. So the real future of the big data consumption sits in fiber. Just to give you an idea, in Europe, 90% of the data is consumed through a fiber, a cable entering your home. In Uganda, 95% of the data is consumed using a wireless phone. That is also ultimately going to shift. So there's a big strategic intent to push the fiber agenda to connect. Today, maybe we have like 5,000 homes that are connected with a cable. We should go to 100, 200, or even 500,000 homes, because every home, once you start using Zoom and Teams like we're doing now, if you have 3 or 4 people using those services in your home at the same time, your traditional 4G router cannot handle it anymore. So you need to upgrade to fiber. We're just getting started. So that also is a very important key strategic ambition from the MTN group, is not to limit ourselves to wireless,